Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Daytime Divas Season 1, Episode 5, and the name of this episode is Baby Daddy Drama. This was a really damn good episode, y'all. Like, let me say that, yeah, there was a lot that went down this episode, so let me just try to say that I'm going to try to put everything together because so much went down. Well, we know from the last episode that the cat is out of the bag about Sean and Nina's relationship and that Nina is pregnant with Sean's baby. Now, this thing is trending on every mass media site. The View's talking about it. The news is talking about this whole situation. So now it's like the talk, like literally. So we actually see that Maxine actually meets with this woman named Isabel, who's actually played by Lala Anthony. And pretty much Isabel is like a media fixer. She was saying that, well, this story would have been taken care of if you would have called me sooner. And she gets paid, I think, $3,000 an hour for her work. But what her main thing is that you're going to have to get behind the story, but then pivot it. So therefore, you're no longer to the point where the topic becomes something different versus this person being shrouded by scandal, meaning Nina, because Nina right now is being attacked in the press. I mean, because right now she's looking like the woman who cheated on her faithful husband and had a baby with one of her bosses. So pretty much what ends up happening is that the show starts. They pretty much talked to Isabel beforehand, and she was saying that, look, I want you to make a statement, and then we're gonna pivot that statement and change the direction of the conversation, and by spinning it, that will get the media off of your back. Well, they did exactly that. She made her statement, while they were on the air, and she was like, great, now we can pivot it. And it was actually working, because then they was talking about, how is it that women are constantly scrutinized, and why is it that they're always made out to be, the whore or the scarlet letter. And then also, if y'all remember from the last episode, Anna is now a co-star on the show. Well, right now she's a guest star, but she's trying to make herself permanent because she has this ammunition against Maxine about writing this book. So Maxine hired Anna to be a co-host on the show, and you can see you can just see right from the gate, Anna is on some messy shit, because while they're on the air, she continues to bash Nina and pretty much says that, well, Andrew has this great career, and now his career and everything's going to be tarnished all because of his wife's actions. So now she's making Nina look more bad, on the panel. And it gets to the point where, Nina confronts her like, don't you ever fucking sagbag me again. But then Anna's like, please, you're just an easy target right now. Besides, it's just TV. So Anna is really being extremely messy, and she's going out of her way pretty much in her mind, I got the goods on Maxine, so pretty much my job is written in stone. So if I get rid of all you bitches, I'm still going to be here. So that's the mentality that Anna has, and Anna is just showing her ass. Because we see the second time around when they're on the show, she again puts Nina out there on Front Street, talks about her, about her marriage, and talks about how is it that you can actually get knocked up by the producer of the show. I mean, what kind of message is this sending to young women? I'm just paraphrasing, but this is the stuff that Anna was doing to Nina, and it got to the point that Nina got so mad that she walked off the set, and then Maxine was like, you have to excuse Nina, she has come down with the flu. And we see that her and Sean get into it because she lets him know that, look, I am no longer going to sit out there and allow myself to be sandbagged by this bitch. She is just coming out. She just coming on the show being all messy. She's turning our lunch hour into Jerry Springer. So I'm not coming back until y'all deal with that bitch, because at the end of the day, I was here. We've been here, and then all of a sudden this girl thinks she can just come in and take over shit. So I'm not coming back until things get reversed. And besides, now I can be lazy, I can eat, I can do whatever. You literally seen her take like 3 or 4 muffins and a bottle of water and ran up out of there and called her a cab. Like, Nina was just over it. Now, also, this situation also puts some strain between Maxine and Sean, because Sean is trying to protect Nina, so he's like, you need to kind of like what is it that Anna has over you that you allowed her to do that to Nina? You were supposed to protect Nina and you didn't. And Maxine is like, I am trying to protect Nina, but let's just be real, Sean. You fought with your dick, now I'm going to think with mine, and I'm going to handle it my way. And then all of a sudden Andrew was like, oh my God, you're such a bitch. She opens up that elevator door and slaps the dog shit out of Sean. And I'm like, Sean, you deserve that. You had that coming, because, bruh, at the end of the day, they're in this crap because of what you and Nina did. You knew she was a married woman, and yet you still pursued her. But the two of them are in love with each other. And, Maxine is like, okay, I'm going to get to the bottom of it now, because Sean did say that, look, we're family now. She's about to be the mother of my child, your grandchild. So, you got to make this work, because she won't come back to the show unless this is dealt with. So we see that Maxine and Nina meet. They pretty much, have a one-to-one. And we pretty much see that, yeah, Nina is just as conniving and is just as shrewd as Maxine is, and she lets Maxine know that, look, you really don't know Andrew. Andrew can be really messy, and he can be very vicious. And right now, because we saw also early in the episode, Andrew calls her and lets her know, you guys are making my name look bad on your show. So I'm gonna tell you this. If you bring me up again, the whole world gonna know who you truly are. The question is, what is that? So so pretty much in this conversation between Maxine and Nina, Nina pretty much says that, look, you really don't know what kind of man Andrew really is. Andrew has nuclears, where he pretty much has like this nuclear thing where he can ruin me. So Maxine's like, oh, so he knows something about you. He's like, so he must got something on you. Well, the question is, how do you change that? Because if he got something on you, you obviously have to find something on him to even the score. So she says, don't worry about it. I got some sources. I'll get something out there on Andrew, so therefore the talk ain't on just you, it's also on Andrew as well. And the next thing you know, while Nina's in the cab on the way to work, she's watching the news in the cab, and we see that there has been a photo of Andrew that was leaked of him showing his penis. So now Andrew is now in the lake of fire. So yeah, that was pretty funny. And then that same day, they go back on the show. Nina has now returned to the cast, and Nina takes it upon herself, because she had some ammunition on Anna that she's going to give to Maxine, but Maxine's like, I can't use that, it's no use. But she used it for herself, about when she throws out about Anna working for LA Confidential, and she screwed around with her married boss or whatever, and then the wife had to get a restraining order because she kept stalking him and all of that shit. She really made Anna look like crap out there, to the point that Anna flipped and walked out, and then Maxine was like, you have to excuse Anna, she has the flu. I was getting my life on this episode. It was so funny. So now Anna's mad as hell and going off. Her and Maxine are going back and forth, and Maxine is like, "Look, it's just not going to work out. So you're not going to actually be on the show full time. So it's just not gonna happen for you." So Anna's like, "Well, you think that so now that book is now back on the table. Don't think I won't actually put this book out." She said, "Do what you got to do, but you're not going to be on this show." So then we see that Anna tries to talk to Jane, the editor. She's like, "Girl, you done made a fucking fool of yourself on national television. Nobody right now is going to fucking believe you. So quite frankly, that book deal is in the toilet. So you need to move on and let it go." So next move that she does is that she gets Philip. Y'all remember Philip, the jeweler that's Maxine's next door neighbor, and they can't stand each other? Damn Philip takes the actual tape where he overhears the fight between Maxine and her husband Ted the night that Ted died. They take that to the cops, and both Anna and Philip are trying to get a criminal investigation involving Maxine and Ted's death. So I'm like, ooh, that damn Anna is a fucking mess. Like, she is so adamant about going after Maxine. She is not going to be stopped. And now she's going to get the police to investigate Ted's death. And that shit was crazy. So then, okay, quick, I'm going to actually talk about Heather and Kibby, and then I'm going to go back to Nina's case. Well, Heather, we can see that Heather right now is pretending with her husband Brad. Brad is still sleeping in the basement, but around a certain time in the morning, he gets in bed with Heather to kind of make a front in front of the kids that they're still a happy couple, but they're not. And we actually see that Brad Jr. is taking a liking to baseball, which has excited Brad because he's like, yeah, I knew this little thing that he was doing with being a girl was a phase, and I'm glad that I got my son back. My son is a man, And so we see that Brad and Brad Jr. are bonding. He's taking he's like on the baseball team, and it's making him feel like a man or whatever. And we also saw a segment too where Brad actually has his own line of underwear, and he was also modeling on the show for the lunch hour. So we see that Heather and Brad are on the lunch hour. He's promoting his underwear line, and then he pretty much kisses Heather in front of the cameras to kind of put out that image that they are the perfect happy couple, because that's a part of her brand. She's the all-American woman. She's a Christian. She has a good family, a solid foundation. That's a part of her shtick. So they're playing along with it. They're pretending for the world. And it's just getting to the point where Heather is just she's kind of drained. She's like over it. She doesn't want to keep playing this anymore. And what actually tips the iceberg for her was when there was a day where Brad and Brad Jr. come home from a baseball game, and she actually talks to her son, Brad Jr., and Brad Jr. says that, yeah, so she's like, so you like baseball? You really do like baseball? And he's like, yeah, but I would love it better if I was able to play on the girls' team. And he says that, look, I know that this is making Dad happy, so I'm pretending, just like you. So she now realizes that even though she's putting on a show for the kids aren't buying it, especially Brad Jr. Brad Jr. sees right through the bullshit. So now Heather finally says that I can't keep pretending anymore. So now her and the kids are going to go stay with Mo. And even Mo even though Mo right now is not on the show, Mo is still there because Mo, after she hears about the whole scandal involving Nina and Sean, she sends a text to Heather, and Heather reads it that she's like, "Oh well, congrats to Nina. I mean, maybe if I would have slept with the boss's son, I would still have my job too." I'm like, Mo is a mess. But something I think is telling me that Mo's going to end up coming back on the show because they've been having all these guest stars and nobody has landed the main spot. So we're going to see what's going to happen with that. But I'm rooting for Mo to come back because Mo is off the hook. And we see that going on. So that's pretty much what involved Heather's situation. Now, Kibby, on the other hand, Kibby is still working with her life coach, Julian. Julian is really trying to get her to expand her horizons by going back to school and trying to find something to occupy herself. So she takes some college courses, and, you know, I think they were working on the book, you know, the infamous novel, you know, on Crime and Punishment. So she pretty much, you know, goes to the professor. And because while she's, you know, in class, she's actually following the blogs and she's reacting to it. And, you know, he immediately calls attention like, can you please tell me what the hell you're doing right now? I was just like, oh, nothing much. And then kind of sits down on the phone. But then later on, her and the professor, they talk with each other. And she's saying that, look, this is completely brand new for me. He's like, yeah, I know it's hard, it's tough. But, you know, I'm here for you. I'm here to help you. And, you know, if you want, you know, we can go to my office and I'll be more than happy to work with you. Her and the damn professor end up having sex. Then next time we see them, we see that the professor's now moved on to another chick, and Kitty is trying to get his attention. He's like, oh, wait a second, Kitty. I know it's hard work, but if you want, you can just stop by my office and, you know, I'll be more than happy to work with you. And she's like, oh, she can stop by your office? Oh, okay. Well, make sure you take a pill, and good luck if you're going to get it. Good luck at having an orgasm. And then she threw the book, and she was like, yeah, that book is whack and it's stupid AF. And walked off. And then we see when she tells Julian about it, Julian is like, why would you do that? You know, what makes you want to have sex with that guy? Like, what were you thinking? And she's like, look, I'm sexually fluid, and if anything, last time I checked, you're my drug coach, not my personal life coach. So therefore, I'm a sexually fluid person, and I don't make no apologies for it. But then you actually see she broke down because it's like, really, Kibby, you got had. He practically screwed with you. He got what he wanted, and he was on to the next bitch. So again, she's still feeling that you know, that she's not good enough, and that all people want from her is sex. So that's what she serves. But I think her and Julian are going to have a breakthrough because Julian really does care about her, and he really is trying to get her to actually elevate herself. But we can see that Kibby is still battling with low self-esteem and certain issues. And when he was trying to go after that, that's when she became defensive. Alright, so now we got that out the way. Now, the situation involving Nina was really like the meat of the show. Because after that dick pic of Andrew gets leaked, you know, everyone's saying, oh, well, that's like the kiss of death to his political career. You know, I don't think he's going to get public office now that that's out there. So we see that, you know, she gets in the car with Andrew, and she's like, oh, peppermint tea? Your stomach must be really upset. And he's like, man, fuck you. And she's like, well, that's just it. You don't. And besides, as far as I look at that picture, you're not big enough. So I'm like, oh, so she throws it out there that Sean got a bigger penis. I'm like, okay. But then she lets it be known that I can still help you to run for Congress, but this is what you're going to do. I can help spin this for you, but you will no longer try to hold anything over on me, and everything that you have on me, you need to let that shit go. So we see next, so we see afterwards, excuse me, y'all, forgive me. So we see after that Nina and Andrew appear on the lunch hour, where she says that the picture was a hoax, it's not real, and that yes, it is messed up that our marriage is, has fallen apart, but I still respect him and I still support him as being our nation's next congressman. So she's standing behind him and kind of spent the whole situation. And that scene was all here for, like, the whole idea is to change the narrative. And we see that Isabel was a part of this too, like, change the narrative, flip the story. So that's exactly what happened. Then afterwards, we see that Andrew approaches Sean again. I'm like, damn, you really trying to get your ass beat again, Andrew? But that's not what happened. Well, somewhat. So he approaches Sean, and Andrew lets him know that, I want to thank you for getting that venomous snake of a woman off my back, and now she's all yours now. And he's like, and then Sean is like, look, don't fuck with me. And he's like, look, I'm just saying, if she can go all this time lying about the situation with her husband, what makes you think she's being completely honest with you? And then Sean jacks up Andrew and says that, look, you like, if you come near my family again, I'm going to mess you up. And he's like, and then also Andrew kind of like, so, won't you ask her? Ask her how she got the Pulitzer. The Pulitzer Prize. Like, so ask her how she got the Pulitzer, and walks off. Like, you think she's honest? Won't you ask her about the Pulitzer? And Sean is obviously kind of stunned, because we come to find out that's what got her the job on the lunch hour, was her being this Pulitzer Prize winning journalist. Well, her and Sean pretty much, we can tell that they had made love or whatever, and they're talking in bed, and Sean decides to ask her about the Pulitzer. Andrew brought it up to me. And she's like, oh, God. But he's like, look, you can tell me. Just let me know what really happened. She lets him know that she was doing a story in Colombia, and that there was a colleague of hers who was doing this story, and while he was covering the story, he was killed. But, so therefore, the story was still there. It was a great story, and there was some interesting developments. So what she decides to do is that she puts a little bit towards the end, but she puts her name on his story, and she puts it out there that it was her story, and that's how she won the Pulitzer. So Sean is completely upset. He's like, this is plagiarism. You got your job based off of that Pulitzer Prize. And you mean to tell me that you really didn't win it? You actually stole somebody else's work, and you got credit off of something that you didn't even do? And he's like, wow. So it seems to me that your husband knows you better than I do. And he fucking gets up and walks out. I'm like, see? He did tell you on the last episode before you punched him that you will find out that not only that the mother of your child is a slut and a whore, but she's a liar too. So now he's starting to see the fact that Andrew was right. She does lie. And she's lied to all of us, because the whole time she's on this panel, she's not even really a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist. She stole that. So that was crazy, and that's where the episode ended. But yo, if I miss anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you guys about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back next week for the next episode of Hollywood Divas. So until then, everybody, take care.